the game.
Yes, we are counting down. We are going to be jumping on into this map. I am ready for this. Spawning in the bottom right position as our red Protoss player. He has just been full-on aggression pretty much every single game we have seen him play today. And it has panned out pretty damn well for him. Will he be able to take a 2-0 win in this match and move on? It is Western Wolves Daisy. And spawning in the top left position as our green Protoss player. He's had to climb quite a ways as well. We saw him dismantle a Terran player by the name of Project. But can he win in this PvP match? He needs 2 games to climb out of the hole he is in. It is Cooler Master Storm's Pandatank.
And if I was in Pandatank's shoes right now, Nathanius, I would be thinking to myself, well, what kind of early game aggression is Daisy likely to be pulling off against me? Because he has been doing it all day long, and now Pandatank has had a taste of it firsthand. He'll be really aware of everything that Daisy is doing, and as a result, I think he's going to be scouting that much more resolute. Look at this, even just double-checking his own main base in case some crazy proxy stuff was happening here, which it isn't right now. And I feel like Pandatank, he's going to play a lot more carefully, but not in such a way that makes him passive, you know what I mean? Some players, when they play on their back foot a little bit, they're very, very passive with their play, wanting to make sure they have a solid position. But Pandatank, I think he's just going to be scouting proactively rather than trying to turtle up.
Yeah, I feel like being aware of what's going on in the field is the most important thing right now for Pandatank. He can do something a little bit less aggressive than Daisy, but with more of a mid-game time thing. Well, personally, what I'd love to see him do against this fast gateway pressure that Daisy's been throwing at him all game long, and it's almost actually worked for White Raw, was going for the robotics facility and using the Immortals. Either that or just catching the units out of position with the Stargate, but I feel like a really fast robotics play could give him that edge versus this very gateway-heavy style, because Daisy really hasn't gone for almost any tech at all, except Blink in any of these matches, which is kind of interesting to think about.
No, that's a really good point, actually. And I mean, he has been able to make it work for him, because if he hadn't, well, he just wouldn't be in this position in the tournament, right? But someone who may have been following his advances through this tournament so far might be able to pick up on that as a pattern there to note, and maybe use it against him. It remains to be seen, though, whether we'll actually have any sort of counters like that in this particular game.
Yeah, definitely, Jorosarin. Well, both players are going to go up to that fast 2-gate play. Pandatank is going to get a Twilight Council. He has to watch that probe leave, and this could be it. We could finally see. I feel like it depends on what he's going to make out of these. Depends on what he's going to make. He's going to go for the double stalker. He's going to have a lot of stalkers, so it very well could be Blink. Would not be surprising at all. We haven't really seen much DT play at all in PvP of all the maps that we have seen. I love that Pandatank has both players going for those towers, but I have to say, though, with what Daisy's doing, it's that gateway-focused style again. There we go. Dark Shrine coming up for Pandatank.
Well, you've got half of your wish, mate. One player is going to be going for a DT opening. Sadly, we're not going to see DT on DT action just yet. And sadly, the probe that built the Dark Shrine, making a little fort for himself on the edge of the map here. And, well, there's really nowhere to go. You do not want to fall down there anytime soon. But obviously wanting to dodge the action should any violence start occurring.
Yeah, I just imagine there being a base trade scenario and the probe has to, like, eat his way through the Dark Shrine to be able to rebuild or something like that. Like, it's his final probe, and they don't know what's happening, and he's like, wait, if I kill my own Dark Shrine, I can go back. But I think this is a great way to abuse the way Daisy's been playing. It's all gateway, all day, every day, and Dark Templar was one of the best ways to punish this, because the only tech he actually has really gone for super fast, aside from the one time that he went that Stargate play, metagaming White Raw, was Blink. And that is not going to help versus the DT play. With that Dark Shrine about to complete, he might take some damage before the DTs can really get their work in if there's good Stalker micro, but I still like Pandatank chances, even with this robotics facility on the way.
Two DTs now being warped in. So let's see what kind of damage they can do. They're actually going into the main base. So this could end up being tremendously difficult. Daisy actually out in the middle of the map in tandem with a worker, interestingly, from Pandatank. So they're all chilling out, being friendly with each other at the moment. Be very quiet. No one actually knows I'm scouting, and the probe finally separates itself from the army as the DTs now start striking. Oh, and the observer getting chrono boosted out. The DTs are unable to get into the robotics facility right now, so they're going to have to kill off as many probes as they can before that observer gets out on the field.
Yeah, I like the idea of trying to target down the robotics facility. The force fields, though, from those sentries are just a little bit too good. He will be able to kill it off, so he's only got a single observer in terms of spotting this, so he'll have to keep it at home. He can't really be active on the map anymore, but if these DTs get, the sentries, really, really big scores here as well. So I think Pandatank made the most of this. And then the other cool thing, of course, about the DT play is you can go straight into Blink. And since he knows he only has one observer, I love that he's putting this Nexus down. There is no way Daisy can counterattack with the threat of DTs on the field if he only has a single observer.
No, that's a great point, and the robotics facility has been taken out as well, so any potential immortal play from Daisy is going to be significantly delayed himself. We actually see Daisy going into the Twilight Council and Blink off the back of this after getting that one observer out as well. So you're absolutely right. Pandatank's decision to go for this Nexus at this point seems like a pretty good one. And he's, of course, got more than enough energy in his mothership core so that if another attack pops in, he can put down the photon overcharge at the natural expansion, which is a theme that we've seen a lot when people try and deny these spaces.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Daisy going for the expansion as well is a good idea, just because he can keep the observer at the front of the natural. There's no real other way for him to get in without a warp prism. So Pandatank is definitely slightly ahead, but in terms of the overall game situation with Blink coming up for Pandatank, he does have a slight supply lead. Barely an army, but of course, I mean, it fluctuates so quickly with the warp-ins coming in for each player that it's not a huge deal. And Blink is coming up for Daisy as well. Trying to get aggressive here. I think just pure gateway units on gateway units. He has an Archon. It's a lot of extra tankiness. I'm not so sure. He's going to get into a bit of engagement here, though.
Picking off a Stalker with that Time Warp right now, and Daisy being very aggressive with that Time Warp and his Stalkers. The problem is the natural expansion for Daisy is finishing, and because it's finishing and the Mothership Core has enough energy, he will be able to put down the Photon Overcharge as soon as that goes down. He's got about 10 seconds left before he can do that. The Archon now leading the charge into the back of this, and he sees the Mothership Core. If he snipes out the Mothership Core, no Photon Overcharge on the Nexus on the logo. That is actually huge right now, and Daisy will not be able to use that Photon Overcharge to help him defend. Right now, Pandatank potentially is in a good position. If he can stop units coming down this ramp, he'll be able to pick off that Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, with both players having Blink, Pandatank just has too many Stalkers. He's jumping right on top of Daisy's army. Daisy wants to retreat, wants to get out more of his own, but it looks like Pandatank is going to just overwhelm him. There's the GG, and we have a tied series here, Charlie.